Hello, everyone. I am DandelionFunky, the Dandelion Vtuber, and I have been waiting for this sequel for how long has it been? It's has to have been at least 10 years, because the moment at the very end of the first game where Eileen tells Kathleen, like, you mean another? You'd let me work with you again? Like, I was like, that feels like a sequel hook. That feels like a sequel hook. I know that Kathy Rain 2 had only been announced fairly recently, I think like about a year ago. But even then, I was always holding out hope. I love Kathy. I love Clifftop Games' work. And they're kind of a newish indie company. But at this point, like, I'll play anything that they make because I love it so much. Hello, Sim. Welcome to the stream. Let's get crack-a-lackin'. This seems like she's got, I think this is the same bike. It's just we're getting to see it up close. We highly recommend playing Kathy Rain before Kathy Rain 2. Do you want to see a recap of Kathy Rain Director's Cut? Do you you fell asleep and didn't get to finish the last one? I guess, like, yeah, let's go through and do a recap just for like people who like weren't able to see the whole thing. I did stream for like, I think yesterday I streamed for 12 hours straight. One of those days where it's just like, I wanna lie face down on the ground now. My brain is but pudding. It's very rare for me to stream for like really long, for that long of a period. And especially like, thank you for following Akimi 223. I don't know you. I don't know you. I feel like I don't accept like direct Discord friend invites from people that haven't even bothered to say basic things first. Do you really know anyone? Do we really? Sorry. Oh, I didn't realize that the person who commented, their post was hidden because they're like a ban evader. And, yeah, I don't think that they're a real person, so I'm just gonna, ban them right now. Okay. But yeah, but is Goober back yet? I don't know whether he's back. But yeah, let's go let's go and do let's go through and let's watch that recap. And then we can kinda.
In 1995, my grandfather died in Conwell Springs, my hometown. I returned for the funeral after being away since childhood.
It might be pertinent for me to just like skip.
In 1990, I returned for the funeral. I learned that my grandpa had been investigating strange occurrences surrounding a mysterious presence in the forest. However, something happened to him in the woods, putting him in a vegetative state for over a decade. To solve this mystery, I teamed up with Eileen Summers, my college roommate. A Christian nerd and a biker badass. It was a match made in heaven. A local church turned out to harbor a secret cult, worshipping the malevolence in the woods, referring to it as the Old God. An endangered hallucinogenic flower, the red scythe, was somehow connected to the Old God's power.
That looks like a red version of the flower that Donkey and Fiona used for Shrek's butt in the first movie.
As we came closer to the truth, a servant of the old god made himself known in dreams and visions, the Crimson One, a scheming trickster.
It makes me
Things
sad
came to a
see
head when
Eileen
the
like
priest of
that.
the corrupt church, Isaac Price, abducted Eileen, intending to offer her to the old god. I managed to track them down and have Isaac thrown in jail, but Eileen was in a catatonic state and was about to suffer the same fate as my grandfather. I continued alone and found my way into a great field of red scythes in the depths of the forest. Greeted by the Crimson One, I descended into the old god's bizarre realm, a place straddling the line between the physical and the otherworldly. The powers of that place tried to break me. My past trauma was manifested and turned against me, including my shadow, an evil doppelganger. I defeated these foes and emerged back into the real world. As I left Conwell Woods, I set the flowers ablaze to eradicate the evil at its root. In my absence, Isaac Price took the coward's way out in his jail cell.
They really shouldn't have left him with his, He had on the... There's like a part of the thing that's like a bit... A bib isn't the right word, but it almost looks like a decorative, like, scarf thing that drapes over, like, a priest's outfit. He still had that, and that's what he hung himself with.
When I returned, Eileen had awoken. She was safe. It was time for us both to go back home.
All right. So what'd you think of that? Was she just super high the whole time? I don't know. This game is intended for mature audiences and contains graphic depictions of horror, explicit violence, suicide, and other disturbing imagery. Viewer discretion is advised. Maybe she was just a fever dream. She does... Oh, she's very pretty. May 20th, 1998. Day 1.
We're closed.
I see she's continuing healthy habits. You did not see the supernatural twist? I remember the first time I played Kathy Rain, it didn't catch me completely off guard because...
Hey, kid.
Oh, Lucas.
You have a voice.
Gee, what happened to you? Looks like somebody's been through the ringer.
You should mind your own
Your
business,
voice is
old
too
man,
hot.
before I bring up your ex-wife.
Hey, now, I'm just looking out for a former student of mine. You're always my business.
Oh, I bet I am. That's the only way a has-been like you could ever stay relevant.
Ha! Yeah, that must be it. Now, you gonna invite me in and just let me stand here like an asshole?
Fine, come in then. You want some coffee?
Yeah, I got enough, old sis, thank you very much. That brew you make is rancid.
Oh, I did that on purpose. I wanted to do detective work, not dumb chores like some airbrained secretary.
Feigning incompetence, huh? Clever move.
I guess so. I just wish that shrewdness of mine could make me some money.
There's my segue. Did you hear the news on the Soothsayer?
I never took you for a sucker, Lucas. This is Cassidy. There's no way that reward is legit.
You're wrong. Mayor Adams is different. He's the real deal.
You know this how exactly?
Well,
his voice
because
is
it just so
beautiful.
happens that I was hired to find dirt on the guy. I got nada. Zip. He's a total Boy Scout.
Whatever. We're still talking about a serial killer. Do I look suicidal to you?
You did go into
kinda.
the precipice.
You passed out at noon, stinking of booze, and that eviction notice hanging over your head isn't doing you any favors.
That's none of your concern. I'm handling it. I just need a goddamn case. A normal case, free of homicidal maniacs.
Don't know what to tell you, kid. Things are looking kind of dry on that front, you dig?
But there are
Oh,
plenty of murderers,
Please don't
apparently.
try to sound hip, Lucas. Your Dick Tracy imitation is cringeworthy enough.
I suppose you could always pawn off that bike of yours. Buy you another month or two.
I'm with the cat.
Tell him, Mildred. Lose the
Mildred?
Catmobile. I'd rather chop off my left tit.
The right tit
I may be
is
a
more
has-been,
expensive, though.
but I'm fairly sure that self-mutilation won't do you much good. A couple $100K, on the other hand.
I love money just as much as the next girl, but, I mean, this isn't just a long shot. It's about as likely as Mildred turning vegan and taking up juggling.
Come on, one more case, for old time's sake. 50-50 split. How could anyone beat my rugged charm and your youthful vigor?
Lucas, we both know you're about as charming as a clown at a funeral. And the last time I saw my vigor was 3 tequila bottles ago.
All right. I know what I'm beating. I'll drop it.
Look, thanks for the tip. I might actually take a shot at that bounty, but you need to accept that we're not a team anymore. We had a good run, but I have my own thing going. Look, see? My name is on the frosted glass and everything.
I can respect that. You're not allergic to a little quid pro quo from time to time, though, are you?
These two,
No, that I can do.
I
That's how
have
the world
like
works anyway. It's all
a
just
thing
an
of, like-
endless circle jerk of quid pro fucking
I know
quo.
that they're probably not
I don't
supposed
quite
to
see
have
things that
chemistry,
way.
but I
My
think
door is always open
their
if you'd
voice
like to
actors
discuss
were
the
around the
case.
same age,
Sure.
and their voice
Make the
actors
best woman win.
have
You
chemistry.
telling me I'd look good in a dress?
Is it just me?
Later, kid.
Bye, Lucas.
Like, you know that thing where, like, sometimes characters are not supposed to, like, the dialogue's not supposed to be flirty, but because the actors themselves are interested in each other,
Well, it's
it
not like I
kind
have
of
anything
is
better
flirty.
to do. I should
That's
have
what I was
information on
kind of
the
picking
Soothsayer
up.
somewhere in this room.
Like that wasn't just in my head, right? That did come across. They did have, like, sparks, like that there was a vibe. Was the yes in agreement to that you understand what I was talking about, or that I wasn't delusional and they had vibes?
Just outdated casework. Can't bring myself to take them down.
You're in agreement? Yeah, like, plus, like, it definitely sounded like the guy who was playing her old partner is, like, the voice actor sounds clearly, like, much younger than the character. Because I think Kathy, at this point is, like, 30. She's in her 30s, because she was in her 20s in the last game. And this game apparently takes place 9 years later. Like, I don't know how that math works, because, like, I thought that the other game takes place in 1995 and this one takes place I thought this took place in, like, 1998. Is 3 years later? Okay. And he comes across like he's, like, in his, I don't know, like, 50s? But he sounds like he's in his 30s. He sounds like 20 years, like, he sounds like he's in his 30s or 40s. Tequila.
Thanks for the headache, you Mexican jerk. Yeah. Maybe there's something about the killings in these papers.
There's a lot of newspapers.
All right. I found a few interesting articles about the most recent murder.
Oh, hey, we got some of the... It just feels nostalgic that we have two of the same items that were with us for the entirety of the other game. Taser, Mildred, I don't... Not the cat!
I should grab this in case I need to snap some shots.
Kitties are better off with different types of vibration.
Just out. An article in the Chicago Tribune about the Whitmore affair. My big breakthrough case last year. I've been meaning to get it framed, but I've been too busy with important things. You know, like drinking alone.
You know, I would have thought that from the mending you would be better put together, but that...
My biggest fan, as depressing as that is.
Where's Eileen? What happened to my
It's
my
a plastic
roommate?
laminator, a machine used to encase paper and other thin objects in transparent plastic. I mainly use it for fake IDs.
Why do you need that?
My radio, with a built-in cassette player. I prefer the quiet right now.
Still the 90s, I guess, because it's... I tase the cat. Alright.
Yeah, right, you sicko.
They added a new thing, huh? Where you can just use the stun gun on shit.
I'd prefer to zap something.
Fascinating.
When there's new messages, it blinks. It's high-tech like that.
Ooh. I don't know why, but hearing about the answering machine... I can taser myself? No, I can't. Oh,
What bills? Never saw those. Nope, no siree.
Nip. If we don't acknowledge them, they don't exist. That's the rules.
That cranky drawer is stuck good. I know Eileen had some magic trick to get it open. Too bad she's not around. Who's the best fluff ball?
I think that...
Couldn't agree more.
I think something happened between her and Eileen, and so she got a cat to deal with it and named it Mildred. Because that's Eileen's middle name.
Empty. All this gumshoe has left upon is her dignity.
Did I get anything else? Katri.
Mildred's abode.
The finest living. But yeah, about the first time I played Kathy Rain, I did kind of pick up what they were laying down, paranormal wise. I knew that it was going to be at least somewhat. The moment... Where was it exactly? When you're making the fake tape to play of Charles to his daughter Erica, and the voice analyzer picks up the static that's on the tape and starts going, "I see you, Kathy Rain. I see you, Kathy Rain. I see you, Kathy Rain." That's the first time I got an inkling that it was maybe going to have some kind of
Every biker worth her salt has got a box like this somewhere.
some supernatural element. I didn't know how hog wild they were gonna go in. That and I forget when the first time you meet the Red Man is. Cause that's definitely
Extra helmets. Eileen used to wear one of them back when things were different.
Did they date or something?
Useful things for when the Catmobile needs a tune-up. Ugh, don't make me hurl. I'm way too hungover for coffee.
Is coffee supposed to help a hangover?
Nah, I'll live with my current face.
I mean...
Uh-oh. That's quite a tequila face you got there, Kathy. No time to do the stupid dishes. I've got a case to solve. This might be useful. Eileen and me, before Rain investigation started going downhill. We worked great together, didn't we? I wish things didn't have to go the way they did.
What happened?
Keeps me in perfect timing.
Is she starting to become like a cat lady because she's lonely?
A postcard left by Jimmy Cochran, that strange old geezer I met at a mental institution a few years ago. He was discharged a year after we met, and for some reason he seems to think I had something to do with it.
Do I not remember my time in the mending?
I better not open that. Wouldn't want the mold to spread.
Do I not remember? Does she not remember
It's
the
a
end?
photo I took of the West End Bridge here in the city back in the day. Teenage Kathy had one of those artsy photographer phases. I wish, but if I don't shape up and get some work done, I'm gonna end up sleeping somewhere way less comfy.
Like the couch? And Kathy will automatically go to bed when you have completed all daily tasks.
I better put that away later, for Mildred's sake. That little rascal has proven that yes, cats can get drunk. Oh, cryptic chaos. Can't wait till they're back in town.
I think this was up in her dorm.
Yeah, I figured the room needed some extra groove.
Do you guys like lava lamps?
Manhunt. I prefer their old material, but their latest album wasn't half bad.
My brother used to have a lava lamp. It was sad though, because after a while he had it, it like just had like a blob just at the
How's
bottom.
it hanging, Lampy?
It was very sad. Like, especially because he actually won that lava lamp in like one of those school
My walk-in
fundraisers.
closet. It's a real mess in there. I better not open the door, or I'd risk spilling all sorts of shit out here.
I like her vanity though. That's a nice vanity. It doesn't match her vibe though at all. It makes me wonder if it's a leftover of Eileen's or something. Oh wait. There's like one thing I forgot to touch. I forgot to touch the window. Gotta touch. I
Still
must
same
touch
old Cassidy.
everything.
City of Gleam.
All right, now we've touched everything.
I should probably examine these articles I found first.
Oh,
I call her Judy, the most stunning lady this side of the Mississippi. She's my electric go-to gal when things get rough.
oh, the stun gun has a name now. Congratulations, stun gun. I'm pretty sure it was just a stun gun in the
My
first
lighter.
game.
Used to belong to my dad, but now it's mine. Plenty of fuel inside. My expert lock-picking set. Not many locks can withstand these little fellas.
Soothsayer targets best-selling author. Cassidy's serial killer hits high-profile victim. At age 49, the one and only Deborah Sinclair was tragically taken from us. She was stabbed to death on May 8th in her iconic cabin. The chilling signature mirror left on the scene made it clear that she had become yet another Soothsayer victim. We are told by sources in the Cassidy Police Department that there was no sign of a break-in, and no items of value were stolen. The death came as no surprise. Acute blood loss caused by sharp force trauma. The circumstances surrounding this crime are strikingly similar to the original casualty of the Soothsayer, Rose Taylor, also a middle-aged woman stabbed to death in her home. This makes 5 victims in 3 months, and the lack of results on the case is starting to anger the citizens of Cassidy. Mayor Adams gave the following statement on May 11th. I'll be the first to admit that I hope to see swifter progress concerning these killings. We must plan to evaluate more radical measures in the coming weeks. The chief of police had no comment. Alright, let's look at the other stuff on here. Dock strikes continue. The city docks remain silent as workers' strike enters week 3. Talks between union leaders and management have stalled, causing significant disruptions to trade on the Mississippi. Grand opening, Marnie's. Rivera's mural finished. Renowned muralist Julio Rivera's latest masterpiece finally adorns the city center. weaving a visual narrative of resilience, aspiration, and hope. Science fair winners. Bright young minds converged at the annual City Science Fair last weekend. Maria Chen, 15, secured top prize with her innovative water purification device, marking a promised step towards a cleaner, greener future. Final Cassidy mine closed. On May 11th, the only remaining active mine in the greater Cassidy area ceased its operations, marking the end of an era. One cannot help but wonder if the city of Gleam will be able to find a new identity and fill the void that its most lucrative industry left behind. Soothsayer viciously murders Deborah Sinclair. The famous writer's life has met an abrupt end. Ooh, very pretty lady. Foxy Mama. We are devastated to report that the fifth victim of the Soothsayer was none other than acclaimed author Deborah Sinclair, one of the most recognized faces of Cassidy. Loyal readers of Sinclair may realize that the previous victim, Jane Doe, was slain on the publication anniversary of Storm Chaser, one of Sinclair's classic novels. A simple coincidence, or do these murders have a deeper connection to the author? The murder occurred in Sinclair's famous writer's retreat near the border of the national park. The National Park Service, NPS, was first on the site and is currently in control of the crime scene. As the NPS lacks the necessary training and resources to conduct murder investigations, we should expect that the crime scene will soon be handed over to the Soothsayer Task Force at the KPD. For now, the body has been transported to a city morgue, awaiting the clearance for a pathological examination. Chief Ranger Samuel Walker had the following comment. "We are still establishing all of the facts surrounding this crime. Please be patient. We all want to do right by Deborah." Deborah Sinclair was a longtime friend of the Gazette and led a prolific life with more than 30 novels published during her lifetime. On this sad day, we mourn the loss of a cultural icon, and we pray that her death will be the last at the hands of the vile Soothsayer. Okay, so she's like 40 and has like 30 novels published within her lifetime. And the other person that died had to do with a specific book. And the other articles kind of mention unions. I'm gonna take a guess. What if this woman had ghostwriters? What if this woman had a lot of ghostwriters? And what if one of them is upset about how much of the pie they're getting? So they're actually going through and killing her and the other her and her ghostwriters and aligning those deaths with that person's book that they wrote under Deborah's name. That would be a good plot. But yeah, as you know, I have not played this game before, by the way. This is just me. It's kind of nice being able to just play a mystery game blind, because I'm just able to talk and be like giving my guesses and shit and not having to worry about how to explain the thing. Like, usually when I've played mystery games on stream up to this point, a lot of them are games that I'd half finished or had already finished. And so it's difficult for me to like extrapolate, like, okay, how do I explain like things that are going on? How do I narrate in a way where I'm not spoiling anybody? And kind of be like, is the trying to remember like the things that I first like thought when I was playing it the first time, and remembering to reiterate those, but not the things that, not do it in a way where I'm coming across like I'm spoiling anything or whatever. Anyway. A massive West Side power outage last night raises questions about Cassidy's aging electrical infrastructure and the urgent need for modernization and investment. Another ad for the Marnie's Burger. Historic statue vandalized. The iconic statue of Founders Square was defaced last night, with anarchist propaganda sprayed across its base. Authorities are investigating a worrying link to the ever-growing sprawl, Cassidy's equivalent of Los Angeles' infamous Skid Row.
All right, I think that's everything I've got on Deborah in here. When I'm ready to leave, I should be able to learn more about the other victims at the library.
Really? The library? To the library. Oh, this music's great. I don't know why, but I was expecting the music from the first game for this part. And so I was briefly off guard. It surprised me.
That an actual avocado tree? Sure looks the part.
Ooh, avocado. Never had it.
Nah, I got one at home. No thanks. Ballet is not my kind of scene. So apparently if there's a fire, I'm supposed to run through those gigantic double doors 10 feet away. Phew, I'm saved. A plaque with some prominent donors. Interestingly, Deborah Sinclair is listed here.
Hey, dude.
Hi, I need some help, please.
Of course. How can I be of assistance?
I'm looking to find some information on the Soothsayer.
Ah. Quite a few people have taken an interest in that case lately.
That's so. Well, I'm not scared of a little competition. So, you got anything for me?
Yes. I would direct you to the microfilm viewer at the end of the hall. We have full scans of all of the major newspapers dating all the way back to the 50s.
Perfect. I should be able to browse those for some articles about the murders.
Indeed. If I may ask, what is your own interest in the case?
You probably heard there's a reward, right? I'm a PI, and money is tight, so...
I see. I suppose we each have our own ways to make a living.
That felt like weirdly judgmental and nervous. I don't trust this dude. I don't trust him. Plus, like, it seems, based on the evidence that we have, I would guess that on some level, like, the murders are, this is gonna sound strange, literarily motivated. I would guess something like about the contents of the books or whatever. I think it's someone who's mimicking the Soothsayer for whatever reason.
What do you know about Deborah Sinclair?
Quite a bit. Do you have a more specific line of inquiry?
What kind of books did Deborah write?
She dabbled in many different genres over the years, but her main bulk of work could probably be defined as horror, mystery, or a combination of the two. Afflicted, Dead Ends Meet, and the Jenny Payne trilogy are some of her most well-known titles.
Huh, okay. Was she working on a new book when she died?
I believe so, yes. But I don't have any details to share.
What do you know about the murder?
I believe she was killed at her writer's retreat, stabbed to death. The police say the MO was similar to the other victims, with the shattered mirror and all that.
Where's this writer's retreat located exactly?
There's an area called Bear Creek, just on the border of the national park. Sinclair owned a small cabin there.
All right, got it. That's a decent drive, so I think I'll head out there tomorrow. Was Deborah a popular author?
Oh, yes. Even before her death. Afterwards, her popularity has reached astronomical levels.
I can imagine. Borrowing one of her books now is out of the question, right?
Correct. 6 months wait minimum.
Yeah, I figured. What do you know about Deborah's private life?
She had quite an interesting life. Adopted as a child, and her adoptive father, Sebastian Willis Sinclair, was an accomplished author in his own right. Deborah's birth mother was a young homeless woman, and her father was a Native American. Deborah spent much of her life trying to track down her biological father, unsuccessfully. Perhaps in some part due to her roots, Deborah's books have often contained subject matter inspired by Native American religion. She was childless and unmarried when she passed away. Rumors say she was gay, but God knows tabloids are quick to jump to conclusions. I don't think she ever clarified that matter to the public. If you are curious to learn more, I would highly recommend her acclaimed autobiography, Unbound.
Oh, I might check that out. Thanks for the information. Thanks.
Very well.
My Michiru instant camera. It's loaded with plenty of film. A bunch of magazines. Mostly celebrity gossip, it looks like. You can rent one of those if you lack a fixed address. Let's hope things don't come to that.
Oh, this is cool. I like the detail of the front facing pillars, and then the way the background and these pillars move like separately, and really adds like a sense of depth.
If I need a book, I should use the computer.
I guess that's one way to save time. What was the name of the book that...
Cassidy's first? Deborah Sinclair. I think I'm done with that. Microfilms containing images of scanned newspapers.
Does anyone
They're
remember what
organized
the
by
name of
calendar date.
the...
Okay, let's see here. It would take ages to look through all the microfilms since the killings began, so maybe I can figure out on what date the murder prior to Deborah's occurred. Hopefully I can deduce the date of the previous murder from the articles I picked up at the office. When I have a good date written down, I can view the corresponding microfilm and look for useful information.
Since it corresponds with the date of another book release, I can use that. Handy dandy notebook. I need more space. Publication anniversary. There's something sticky on my desk and I don't like it. Especially because I found it with my arm. That's gross. Bitch, I live like this. Date of publication. 4/5/1987. Synopsis. Storm Chaser is an epic tale of a Native American warrior who sets out on a great quest to save his tribe from American settlers in the 1800s. Question is, what year was it? Are we just going by the assumption that it's...
All right, I've got a date written down. I can use that to find the corresponding microfilm.
It's amazing microfilms.
Yeah, this date should be good. I'll search through a week or so of microfilm, starting from the date I've written down. Hopefully I can find some useful information on the previous victim.
It's amazing the kind of things that become irrelevant or like almost inaccessible technology.
Yes, there we go. I'll have these printed.
It's like microfilms, at the time it was about saving and archiving large swaths of data, but it was kind of inconvenient in its way.
All right, rinse and repeat. I should try to determine the previous microfilm date based on the information in these new pages. That way I can make my way back from article to article, victim to victim,
people have been
until I get all
digitizing
the way to the
microfilms.
first murder. Let's see here.
Soothsayer burns Jane Doe alive. The infamous Soothsayer has cranked up the heat on his killing spree, as the latest victim, a young woman in her early 20s, was determined to have been brutally burned alive on Constance Hill. The death occurred on the night of April 25th. Due to the state of the remains, Jane Doe's identity has been difficult to ascertain. Despite indications of dental work on the corpse, there were no matching dental records anywhere in the city, leaving police to believe that the woman was not a local. The lack of a struggle could mean that the victim was incapacitated, but the condition of the body gives little clarity on that matter. Picking up a public site like this was a risky proposition for the Soothsayer, but he may have banked on the fact that distant witnesses would assume that the fire came from a nearby fire pit. Mayor Adams offered this comment. As unpleasant as it is, I must ask you to be patient. Let Ed, Cassidy Chief of Police Edgar Mitchell Brown, and his team do their job. KPD has my full confidence in this matter, and City Hall stands vigilant to assist in any way we can. For our extensive coverage of the previous victim, Deacon Townsend, see issue 842. So, Moon Lotus Massage and Spa. I was like, the position of the hands is strange, but whatever. St. Andrew's Church Easter Tragedy. St. Andrew's Church Easter concert ended horrifically when conductor Martin Schultz suffered a fatal heart attack. The concert, a cherished tradition, was attended by many who are now mourning Schultz's untimely passing. The church plans to hold a memorial service in his honor. dirt race extravaganza imminent, the annual Cassidy Dust Rally is soon set to take place in various locations around the greater Cassidy area, drawing in adrenaline junkies from around the state. Featuring rugged terrains and challenging courses, the event promises an exhilarating experience for racers and spectators alike. Local businesses are gearing up for the influx of visitors. Safety measures are being rigorously implemented to ensure an exciting yet secure racing experience for all. The event takes place over the course of 3 days, starting May 1st. Soothsayer. Okay. Soothsayer strikes again. Task force established. Edgar Mitchell Brown on April 26th. Photo credit, J. Miller. The Soothsayer has claimed a fourth victim, an unidentified woman estimated to have been 18 years old. Her charred remains were found on the outskirts of Cassidy, near the overlook at Constance Hill. The cause of death is yet to be determined. The Soothsayer victims do not seem to share any obvious similarities in terms of gender, age, occupation, or social class, and the killing methods, locations, and disposal of the bodies are all different. However, the killings have all occurred within the greater Cassidy area over a period of 3 months, which would indicate that the Soothsayer is somewhat local to the area. In related news, the Cassidy Chief of Police has recently announced that the investigation of these killings will be taken over by the newly created Soothsayer Task Force. Edgar Mitchell Brown said the following during a press conference on April 26th. As of May 1st, the so-called Soothsayer slayings will be investigated by a dedicated task force of 8 senior detectives, handpicked from various divisions at Cassidy Police Department. Rest assured that this elite group has every resource at their disposal. When asked whether or not the FBI would be involved, Mitchell Brown replied, "There is no federal jurisdiction in this case. I have no further comment." We'll take it. The Gazette has frequently criticized the Cassidy Police Department for their errors in the past, but credit where credit is due. This is a step in the right direction. And then, the renovation of the century-old West End Bridge is finally complete. 5 years in the making, the project enhances safety while preserving the historic character of the iconic landmark. Tension at Town Hall meeting over amusement park revival. The Town Hall meeting is discussing the revival of the Lone Star amusement park took an unexpected turn when a father of one of the fatal victims of the infamous 1992 accident attempted to storm the stage. Luckily, police quickly handled the situation. Despite this incident, the overall sentiment at the meeting was positive, with many attendees expressing support for the park's modernization and commitment to enhance safety standards. The mayor pledged to consider all feedback, emphasizing the importance of reconciling the park's painful past with a hopeful future. And money! Okay, so my thought process about this victim. So, due to the state of the remains, Jane Doe's identity has been difficult to ascertain. At this point in time, I don't think DNA was good enough to properly get like all the information that we can get from DNA now. And even if that was an option, I don't think once you have become crispy, I do not think that you can get DNA from Crispy. And that's part of the thing, is that she's crispy. They say lack of a struggle could mean that the victim was incapacitated. I don't know how crispy she is. I don't know how crispy she is, but varying upon the level of crispy, we would be able to tell whether there was like struggle based on the fact of like, okay, does she have soot in her, like, does she have soot and shit in her lungs to indicate that like when she was being ablaze, were her lungs working? Because if if you have a victim and you, like, they're burned on the outside and then you do an autopsy and then there's no, like, the lungs are clean, that means that, like, she wasn't breathing when the fire was happening. And you can actually get that information about people who are drowning as well, who have been, like, found in water. Because if the lungs are, like, empty of water, like that, you know that they were just placed in the water, they weren't drowned. And the lack of struggle, like, the other thing about, like, what happens when the human body is being burned alive is the muscles, as they're, like, being cooked, will naturally, like, contract and, like, all this other stuff. That is why the bodies in Pompeii look like the way they do. Like all of them look like they're fighting an invisible force, because, like, the muscles are contracting and spasming as they're being burned alive. And usually what happens is that causes the arms and legs to just naturally be, like, punching and kicking the air and, like, just, like, going hog wild. So, like, yeah, the condition of the body, like, if that's, I would go with that, like, no, she was burned after death. That's my hypothesis. But of course, the way the police tend to go, like, they intentionally leave out information from the paper because it helps them be able to do proper investigation of, like, if they get a tip from someone or if someone confesses something and they give information that nobody should know, then, like, yeah, ding dong, that's part of how they know. Yeah. So I like
I
true
know where
crime.
Constance Hill is, but that's a fair distance from the city. Better save it for tomorrow. For now, I'll put Jane Doe on hold and see what I can find about the previous murder victim. Microfilms containing images.
Yeah, shouldn't I be able to look up Article 842 for, like, the previous one?
Some antique world map centered on the US. 1800s, maybe? If I need a book, I should use the computer.
My mom has commented before that she's asked me why I haven't went into forensics. I think it does sound really interesting to do, like, forensics and stuff, but I don't trust my ability to deal with stress.
Some local hero from the Civil War, I think? Well, either that or Beethoven. That guy gets around.
'Cause, like, I have a mental illness. I have a mental illness that gets triggered with stress. And I would assume investigating murders and shit would be very stressful. It's different when you're watching true crime, like when you're watching Forensic Files on TV, or, like, playing a murder mystery game. It's different. Although I have, like, thought about maybe dabbling in, like, a forensic, taking a class. I searched, oh. It helps to type in the correct title. I kinda wanna look at what all her, like, shit is. Author Kiona Thunderheart, a Native American tribeswoman and daughter of the chief, is forced to hunt down and kill her own father after he becomes possessed by this and threatens their whole village. Alright, I didn't read that out of respect to the Native American people. You're not supposed to say that name because it's one of those things where, like, it's a thing that if you say it, that's how you summon it. And it's kind of like it's disrespectful. So. It's a spirit that possesses you and makes you be a cannibal. A distant, lonely couple falls in love after meeting in a vivid shared dream. The pair becomes obsessed with reuniting in the real world, whilst opposed at every turn by Mr. Clock, a mysterious and ruthless adversary. Are these like homages to real books? Evermore. Hannah's dating has been a whirlwind of charm and mystery. Every man she meets seems perfect, yet something is strangely askew. Beneath their different faces and personalities, there's an inexplicable familiarity that she can't seem to shake. As Hannah tries to piece together these patterns, she begins to question not only her choices, but the very nature of the men drawn to her. And the guidance. For the sake of mental clarity, David Walker leaves a successful business behind to retreat to a remote forest cabin. At first, the solitude is healing, but soon, strange instincts take hold. It is as if David's mind is being reshaped by something primal and deeply unfamiliar. Are these sensations the echoes of an ancestral memory, the onset of madness, or the influence of an unseen force? As the line between reality and delusion blurs, David starts to feel an undeniable magnetic pull to the local caves. The truths he uncovers there would lead him to a darkness older than humanity itself. Yeah, I'd read that one. Stage fright. Jenny Payne. Jenny Payne, a traveling magician and illusionist, solves crimes around America using deduction and trickery. Theater of the Absurd. Jenny Payne 2. The second chapter in Jenny Payne's saga brings her to Europe to investigate her family's mysterious and dark past. The final curtain. Jenny Payne. The stakes are higher than ever, with Jenny Payne locked up in jail and framed for murder. Can she escape, clear her name, and stop the murderer from killing again? I read that one. Thorns of the Wild. Three estranged friends are compelled to reunite in their hometown to confront the haunting memories of their childhood. Soon, questions arise. Was the old gardener lady called Nettles truly a witch? And what actually happened when the fourth member of their group, 8-year-old Johnny P., mysteriously disappeared? The truth is darker than any of them can imagine, and they will all come to learn the true reason why they were summoned there. Unbound. Deborah Sinclair's long-awaited autobiography outlines the author's tumultuous life and rise to worldwide prominence. The book takes the form of a series of interviews by Sinclair's longtime friend and colleague, Stephen Collins. Stephen Collins. Got a name there. Why don't I look up the...
It's one of those advanced...
Maybe I'm done here? Am I done? Am I done here?
Jane Doe was the fourth victim of the Soothsayer. She was burned alive. I think I'm done with that victim for today. I should focus on my other leads for now.
Okay.
Deborah Sinclair, celebrity. I think I'm... Cassidy's first and only serial killer. The only thing standing... My expert law...
Oh, here it is. Okay. I'm gonna skim it. Issue 842. Cassidy's son. Can I just look that up? What number is the current issue? Issue 845. Wednesday. Weekly news. There we go. There we go. Now we're cooking. I understand. So, 842. And this one is 845. And I'm writing down the date of... Alright. And it's a weekly thingamabob. So, this one is... Wait, where's a calculator? Somebody... I need to do math. Wait, it's 3. No, that's not it. That's not the math. Was it? Why would they number them like that? So 3 weeks ago? It's the 29th. This is 8:45. 8:43. 8:45, 8:44, 43, 42.
Yes, this should be the right date. Let's see here. Okay, let's have a look.
Soothsayer stages suicide of prolific deacon. We are sad to report that a third member of our community has been taken out by the so-called Soothsayer, who appears to be Cassidy's first serial killer. The victim's name was Benedict Townsend. No, not Townsend! His YouTube channel's great! Was Benedict Townsend, age 51. Our sources say that his death occurred on April 3rd, and that Townsend was likely murdered in a staged suicide by hanging. Townsend served as a deacon at the King of Kings Catholic Church, an old congregation dating back to the early 1900s. He was a beloved figure in the community, well known for his voluntary work. Reverend Hugh Winters, the pastor of King of Kings, had the following to say: "My heart aches for Ben's soul and everything he had left to give in the world, but I take some comfort in the fact that he is with the Lord now. And for the person or persons who did this to my friend, know that there will be reckoning. Murder is a sin most vile, and God sees all." That is, okay. The King of Kings remains open as the crime occurred in the adjacent rectory building. However, the rectory will remain under lock and key until properly consecrated. Deborah Sinclair book set for Hollywood adaptation. Cassidy's own author Deborah Sinclair is making waves as her best-selling novel, Thorns of the Wild, is slated for a movie adaptation. Sinclair made the following statement: "It's about time. Hollywood hasn't been quick to recognize the cinematic potential of my work, and I sincerely hope this marks the beginning of a great collaboration. And to my fans out there, rest assured I will retain full creative control. I won't let anyone ruin my babies." Chief of Police's phone hacked. unidentified phone hackers, so-called freakers, hijacked the phone line and prank called the chief of police last week, shouting obscenities and sexual innuendos. According to a statement by the chief, their motive appears to be retaliation for the police raid on the Cybershack Internet Cafe last month. Debate over reviving the Lone Star. The Lone Star, the once popular West-themed amusement park built on an old mining site in the 70s, may be revived and modernized. The factory was closed in 1994 after a series of accidents and ensuing lawsuits, but following a change of ownership, there was now tentative plans to resurrect the facility. City Hall has been aggressively investing in the entertainment sector as part of a wider strategy to promote Cassidy as a cultural hub, and this initiative would seem to align with that. Proponents argue that the Lone Star could boost tourism and the local economy, while critics raise concerns about safety and the preservation of the site's historic value. Mayor Adams had the following comment: "While we honor the park's past, including its tragedies, we see an opportunity to create a safe, modern attraction that respects our history." City Hall has declared an open town hall meeting dedicated to this topic will be held later this month. Wade Industries, hey! How are you doing, Charles? Wade Industries opens new factory amid controversy. Wade Industries' new factory complex in the city has opened, promising thousands of jobs. However, the company's anti-union stance has sparked criticism. Charles. Rumors of backroom deals quieting the unions are rife, leading to a divided public opinion. While many welcome the economic boost, others question the long-term implications for workers' rights and the integrity of the deal-making process. Soothsayer linked to 3 murders. Serial killer on the loose? 3 killings in 2 months connected by foreboding signature. Deacon Benedict Townsend, age 51, was found dead early on April 4th in the rectory of the Killing of the King's Catholic Church. The cause of death was determined to be hanging, but suicide has been ruled out by the KPD. An anonymous police source had the following to say: "Somebody else was involved. The positioning of the body and other logistics don't add up if he was alone." This scenario is eerily similar to that of Eric Holloway, the postman who met his demise on that ominous full moon night last month. His death was initially treated as a suicide, but later revised to a homicide. Now the Gazette brings you the exclusive scoop. Both of these killings, as well as the brutal stabbing of Nurse Taylor back in February, are linked by an object left at the scene: a shattered obsidian mirror, colloquially referred to as a scrying mirror. These mirrors have been used since ancient times to see the future or communicate with the spirit world. Does the soothsayer responsible for these murders have a religious motive? Our source continues: "It's no signature. This killer is no hack." It's a signature. "This killer is no hack. He hasn't left any other forensic evidence that can be traced back to him, so the mirror has to be deliberate." Townsend was a well-liked figure in the community, known for his charity work, and a longtime member of the church. Cassidy Chief of Police Edgar Mitchell Brown gave the following comment: "We are not classifying these homicides as serial offenses at this time, but trust that we have our finest on the case. We urge our readers to demand that Mitchell Brown recognizes that the citizens of Cassidy have been cursed with our first serial killer in recorded history." Some water here. And I think that it's interesting that, like, this brings up, like, the union strike. Like, this is the beginning of it. And if you notice on the newspaper that I believe was talking about Deborah's murder, on the sides they were also talking about that union strike. That it's been going on for like 3 months. Charles, I'm disappointed in you. Fringilla, a play born in the heart of our city, has captured the nation's attention. After a series of sold-out shows and rave reviews, the production is now set to tour nationally. Written by playwright Cassandra Beckett and set against the backdrop of Cassidy's rich history, the play's blend of drama, humor, and poignant storytelling has struck a chord with audiences. Success is a testament to the city's thriving art scene. A national tour begins in early May and is poised to bring a piece of Cassidy's cultural spirit to theaters across the country, showcasing the talent and creativity flourishing in our community. All right, so we got several... All right, Eric Holloway. All right, full moon last month. And Rose Taylor killed in February.
Okay, I'll make sure to look into that church later and maybe find the address. For now, let's move on to victim number 2.
So now, Eric Holloway. Which one's the full moon? It's this one, isn't it?
Yes,
What? Oh, okay. Prominent suicide morphs into homicide. Initially reported as a suicide, the death of Eric Holloway on March 12th has been officially reclassified by KPD as a homicide. Since this public death occurred, multiple reliable witnesses have come forward in claiming that the victim was pushed off the roof of the building at 4 Verdant Street. However, there are no detailed descriptions of the perpetrator, likely due to the limited illumination of the roof area at night. Holloway led a quiet and simple life, working as a mailman for the city, and is said to have been well liked by his peers. However, there are unverified reports of his mental health problems related to the death of his fiancée last year. Police sources told us that there are links to the brutal motel stabbing of Nurse Rose Taylor on Statehood Day, February. Statehood Day, but were reluctant to share further details of an ongoing investigation. So, I haven't held a newspaper in my hands for quite some time, but it's just now occurring to me that the way newspapers tend to be is that, like, they'll have all this shit on the sides, but, like, this is part of the same... This part is part of the same article, isn't it? No? Oh well. A symphony in the streets, a creative protest for classical arts. In a unique display of dissent, supporters of classical arts in Cassidy orchestrated a symphony in the streets protest. Musicians, dancers, and actors from various classical disciplines performed impromptu pieces in key city locations, transforming sidewalks and public squares into stages. The harmonious yet powerful act was designed to draw attention to the need for balanced support of classical arts. Passers-by were treated to scenes from Shakespearean plays, excerpts from famous ballets, and live classical music performances. Eleanor Vincent, a renowned local conductor and one of the event's masterminds, shared her thoughts. Our goal was to show the beauty and relevance of classical arts in the same spaces largely dominated by modern art today. Support from the public has been overwhelming, so I believe we have succeeded. The event, both a protest and a celebration of classical arts, served as a reminder of the genre's enduring impact on the city's cultural identity. The Gazette has reached out to Mayor Adams for comment. New restaurant. Celebrity chef Marco Durant recently unveiled Fusion on 5th, a new restaurant blending Asian and Western cuisine? What is happening? Western cuisine, promising an exciting and modern culinary experience. The restaurant is planning a grand opening on April 20th, but you may struggle to find a table. Durant has announced that they are booked in full until June. Oh, there's that Cyber Shack. The Cassidy Police Department has conducted a raid on the popular Cyber Shack internet cafe in connection with the traffic light hacking incident that occurred last month. The operation, part of an ongoing investigation into the sophisticated cyber attack that caused citywide traffic chaos, led to the seizure of several computers and electronic devices. Authorities have not released details on specific suspects, but confirmed that the raid was a significant step in the case. Grim fall under the full moon. On Thursday, March 12th at roughly 8 p.m., a 32-year-old man left from the roof on a 4-story apartment building at Verdant Street, instantly killing himself on the pavement below, making a grisly spectacle for neighbors and bystanders alike. Friends and neighbors claim that the victim had struggled with the death of his girlfriend, but no suicide note has been recovered. Events like this reiterate that mental health and grief counseling should be a national concern, with more resources available for vulnerable people in crisis. If you or anyone you know is having suicidal thoughts, you can reach the National Suicide Hotline at fake number, available 24/7. Oh, that's what's going on. It's not Charles. Wade Empire heiress takes over Wade Industries. To the surprise of many, Erica Wade, heiress of the billionaire Wade family, was recently appointed as the new CEO of Wade Industries. Erica replaces her father, Charles Wade, after an impressive tenure in the role spanning over 3 decades. Charles Wade had been expected to step down for some time due to persistent rumors of him suffering from late-stage Alzheimer's disease. No, he's fine. However, the choice of Erica Wade is unconventional, primarily due to her lack of management experience. One of Erica's first acts as CAO was to conduct a dramatic reshuffling of the company's senior management. Our sources tell us that the Chief Operating Officer and Chief Financial Officer have been replaced, with potentially more to come. In a recent press release, Erica defended her actions as necessary for the company's future. Changes in leadership are essential to drive Wade Industries towards innovative and sustainable growth, she stated. We are aligning our team to better meet the challenges of our dynamic industry in these turbulent times. Despite her reassurances, these high-profile changes have only added to the uncertainty surrounding the company's direction. Stakeholders are now watching closely to see how these strategic moves will impact the company's performance and whether Erica can navigate Wade Industries through this period of upheaval and restore confidence among investors and staff. Sources close to the matter suggest a more sinister course of events. Never once in his decades as CEO had Charles ever considered her, Erica Wade, to be a serious candidate for management. This is a hostile takeover. A senior employee who wished to remain anonymous commented. At market close yesterday, NASDAQ share prices for Wade Industries dropped 18 points, making one of the most significant single-day declines in company history. Yeah, we talked to Charles fairly recently. He was very sharp in the brain. Dr. Helen Baxter was forced to resign amid fraud allegations. Accused of misappropriating university funds, Baxter faces criminal charges, raising serious concerns about KCU's governance and lack of oversight. Rare bird! Bird! Bird. Rare bird spotted. Bird watchers and ornithologists alike are flocking to City Park after the rare crimson-winged finch was spotted, drawing attention to the local biodiversity. The species was thought to be entirely extinct in the U.S., making this sighting an extraordinary historical event. Yeah, let me just... Why?
Eric's address isn't too far away, but I should learn all I can here. Coming up last, the very first victim of the Soothsayer.
One more newspaper to read.
This should be the right date. Let's see here.
Satanist responsible for motel slaughter. A brutal stabbing occurred in the Azure Sky Motel on February 5th, and our sources now say that there is an occult angle to the killing, with some sort of artifact left on the scene. The husband of the victim was briefly detained but released a day later. Law enforcement claims that he remains a person of interest, however, and confirmed that the cause of death was multiple stab wounds to the chest. After 80 years, Cassidy's beloved Patterson Bakery has closed, ending an era. The bakery was known for its traditional recipes and community presence. Union leader ousted amid mafia allegations. Frank Davelli, the long-standing leader of Cassidy Industrial Workers Union, Kiwu, was ousted following allegations of ties to organized crime. Accusations of the leader's involvement with the mafia surfaced in a recent investigation, leading to a unanimous vote for removal by the union board. The scandal has rocked the union community, with members calling for transparency and reform. Kiwu, pivotal in representing workers' rights, faces a crucial period of restructuring and regaining public trust. Cassidy's art funding conundrum: classical versus modern. A debate is intensifying over the allocation of city funds to the art, with a growing conflict between supporters of classical arts and advocates for modern art forms. City Hall's recent push to support burgeoning street art movements, including graffiti and other experimental art forms, has traditionalists up in arms, arguing that the shift neglects the classical arts. Mayor Adams, a vocal supportive of the new initiative, stated, "It's vital that we embrace and nurture the diverse artistic expressions of our youth. Their creativity is the lifeblood of Cassidy's future as a cultural hub." However, this approach has not been without controversy. Elizabeth Hoffman, director of Cassidy City Symphony Orchestra, expressed her concerns. While innovation in art cannot be understated, we shouldn't abandon our rich history in classical arts. These traditions are a cornerstone of our cultural identity. The debate has sparked a broader conversation about the evolving nature of art and its place in society. Jackson Miller, a local street artist, argues, "Art is constantly evolving. The city's support for modern art reflects the changing dynamics of our community." On the other side, patrons of the classical arts feel marginalized. "It's disheartening to see years of tradition being overshadowed," noted Jacques Duran, a local ballet instructor. Classical arts and modern expressions can coexist, but not if one is favored over the other. This ongoing debate highlights the challenges the city's face in balancing the support for the arts. As Cassidy navigates these cultural crossroads, the decisions made today will likely shape its artistic landscape for generations to come. KPD adds new canine unit. The Cassidy Police Department has bolstered its crime-fighting efforts with an expansion of its canine unit. The new team includes dogs trained in narcotics detection, tracking, and public order tasks. These furry companions have become invaluable partners in our law enforcement endeavors, said Sergeant Maria Gonzalez, head of the canine unit. The department demonstrated the new team's capabilities in a public event, highlighting their advanced training and their strong bond with their handlers, to an overall positive public reception. Hacker disrupts traffic system. On February 8th, a sophisticated cyber attack disabled hundreds of traffic lights for several hours, leading to widespread chaos and a significant property damage around downtown Cassidy. That's why you don't hook up that shit to the internet. Together with the help of experts at Cassidy City University, authorities are now investigating the breach, evaluating a range of cybersecurity measures for a critical urban infrastructure. Motel murder mortifies management. Magnificent. Do you think they put enough M's here? On February 7th, Rose Amanda Taylor, age 47, was found dead by Robert Tippett, the owner of the Azure Sky Motel. Taylor had been stabbed to death by an unknown perpetrator. Blood everywhere, like a gosh dang butcher room, Tippett says, wide-eyed, and continues to emphasize that this city is going to hell. You go ahead and print that. Neighbors report hearing commotion from the room, but that was apparently a regular occurrence, so no one went to investigate. Taylor is survived by her husband and 2 children, who have declined a request to be interviewed. The husband was briefly detained, but is no longer considered a suspect. If you have any information about the murder of Rose Taylor, please contact the Cassidy Police Department at fake number. Deborah Sinclair book signing big success. Deborah Sinclair saw a massive turnout at her recent book signing event, where fans lined up for hours to get a few brief moments with the popular author. Sinclair's recent novel, Midnight and Me, has captured the hearts of readers nationwide, and the event held at Cassidy's legendary bookstore, Pages and Tales, not only highlighted Sinclair's rising popularity, but underscored the city's growing literary scene. The Dreamers Express rolled out. The Dreamers Express is off to a resounding start, with tickets completely sold out for the next 2 months. This unique bus service, This unique bus service connecting Cassidy to Los Angeles is the brainchild of Julia Henderson, former actress turned entrepreneur. Her vision? To create a conduit for Cassidy's burgeoning artistic talent to reach the broader stages of LA. The journey is as important as the destination, Henderson asserts. Each bus, painted with murals depicting scenes from Cassidy's rich cultural tapestry, is a mobile canvas. Inside, passengers find a mini gallery of local art and a collection of writings by Cassidy's poets and authors. Henderson's inspiration came from her own experiences. I made the trip to LA years ago, full of dreams. It's a pilgrimage for many here, she reflects. The route she designed includes stops at historic landmarks and creative hotspots, aiming to fuel inspiration. Despite the hard truths of the entertainment industry, Henderson believes in the power of the journey. It's about experiencing life, embracing failure and success alike. Our city's history of resilience is our greatest teacher. For tickets, either visit the downtown Cassidy bus station, located on 5th and Main, or make a phone reservation at blank. Alright.
All right, that should be everything on the microfilms. I think I'll continue to focus on gathering information today and then head to each of the murder sites tomorrow. Jane Doe was Deacon Benedict Townsend was the third victim of the Soothsayer. He was found hanged under suspicious circumstances. I'm not sure where exactly this church is, but I should be able to find out. The King of Kings is a Catholic church here in the city. The adjacent rectory was where the third Soothsayer victim, Deacon Townsend, was killed. I'm not sure where exactly this church is, but I should be able to find out.
Maybe I have to find like a white pages or something.
Eric Holloway was the second Soothsayer victim. He was a postal worker in his 30s who was killed by being thrown off a roof. I think I'm done with that victim for today. I should focus on my other leads for now. Rose Taylor, a nurse, was the first Soothsayer victim. She was stabbed to death in the Azure Sky Motel. I should see what I can find out about that motel. The Azure Sky Motel is the location. The Catmobile is running on fumes, so I should give this place a call rather than head over. I'll need a number first, though.
Is there? My first instinct, modern little dandy, was that I was getting ready to sit at the computer and look it up that way, like to Google it, to Google the address. But I need
One more thing.
Yes?
Do you know anything about the King of Kings Catholic Church?
I'm not familiar with that church, sorry.
Are you familiar with the Azure Sky Motel?
I'm afraid not.
What do you know about scrying mirrors?
Not much, unfortunately. They're not within my area of expertise.
What do you...
Apart from Deborah Sinclair, I can't offer much insight on the Soothsayer victims.
Okay.
Thanks.
Very well.
You're gonna let me leave? So I feel like the other stuff I can get at home by using like the white pages or something. At the window, huh, Mildred? I like that this...
The yellow pages. Handy for looking at people
Kathy
and
Rain
businesses.
kind of like realistically, in order to find out where you're gonna go, you always have to look in the yellow pages, or just, you have to, part of the puzzle is not only figuring out where you need to go, but like, where is it? I always thought that was super creative.
Great. I've got the address to the church. I'll head over there tomorrow. I think it's time to see what I can find about the Azure Sky Motel. It's likely in this phone book here. Got the number. I'll call first and see if a visit makes sense. God knows I have to be careful with those last drops of gas left in the bike.
Oh, right, because like she's short on cash. What do you bet it's going to be an asshole?
Thank you for calling the Azure Sky Motel.
Oh, this guy sounds kind of
Your
slimy.
oasis in Cassidy. How may I help you?
Hi there. This is Kathy Rain from Rain Investigations. I have some questions.
All right, then.
So, I hear that one of your tenants was murdered back in February? Rose Taylor.
No shit. Here I thought the boys in blue ransacked this whole place just for shits and giggles.
That happens more often than you'd think. Come on, man. Help a girl out.
Sorry for the attitude, but you know, you're the umpteenth person to ask about that, right?
I get that, so how about we stick with the short version?
Fine. No, I don't know anything that isn't in the papers. No, you can't see the room. It's rented out. And even if you did go in there, there's nothing that the cops or cleaners haven't removed since friggin' February.
Understood. So what about the next of kin? She had a husband, right?
Yeah, he came by later to pick up the personal effects. I just met the guy for a few minutes.
Did you catch his name?
I did, but I don't think he'd appreciate me giving out his name to some random lady on the phone. No offense.
Fair.
I am a bit offended, actually. I'm not some random lady. I'm a licensed private investigator and a renowned one at that. Ever hear of the Whitmore affair?
That does sound familiar.
Well, that was me. Now, here's a friendly piece of advice. Choose the path of least resistance. I can be a much bigger pain in the ass than this
You
Mr.
don't need to get
Taylor,
rude with
believe
him.
me.
He's kind of friendly.
All right, fine. It's Orson. Orson Taylor.
That wasn't so hard, was it? Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Ugh.
What can you tell me about Orson Taylor, Rose's husband?
Nothing much. Like I said, I only saw the guy once, a week or so after the murder.
Okay. How do you seem?
Like you'd expect. Messed up. Couple of kids, too. Breaks my heart, truth be told.
So, if Rose was married and had 2 children, what was she doing in your motel?
Poor.
That's the million-dollar question, ain't it? You'll get no answer from me, even if I could keep track of all of our tenants. I don't make a habit of sticking my nose in their personal affairs.
Huh. Was she a regular then?
Not really, just a couple of bookings in January and February. Look, I think I've said enough. Any other questions? We need to wrap this up. I've got calls on the other line.
What can you tell me about your motel?
The Azure Sky is a long-time family business. We've been
I'm going
serving
down the
tenants
list.
faithfully for over 40 years now.
Oh, wow, quite a while. So, how many tenants do you have?
We don't keep records of the number of tenants, but we have 50 rooms of varied sizes. We're about 3/4 full, but expecting to be fully booked during tourist season in the summer.
Wait, tourists actually come to Cassidy? Somebody deserves a raise for one hell of a marketing campaign.
No patriot of the community, huh? That's a shame. This city has a lot more to offer than people like you give it credit for.
To each their own, I guess. What do you know about the...
I know more than I'd like to. I could have gone without a close view of his handiwork, that's for sure.
I can imagine. A brutal stabbing, I take it?
No offense, but I'd rather not go over that again. It's all in the papers, if you're so dead set on getting all the gory details.
Do you know anything about scrying mirrors?
Only that our psycho killer enjoys breaking them around his victims, but I have no interest in understanding a nut like that.
That's all, thanks.
You're welcome. Have a great day now.
That sounded completely insincere. Have a good day. Bye.
Orson Taylor is the surviving husband of Rose Taylor, the first soothsayer.
Okay.
All right, found the husband's number. Here's hoping he's willing to talk to me.
The way she writes the phone numbers is weird. Isn't that how you write them? I don't like. Were you raised in a barn? Who writes them like this? Is this like a non-American city? Or like whatever? Like what? Why? Why are you writing the numbers this way? Who does this? I don't do this. You put the area code in parentheses. You write the first three, then you write the 3 numbers, then a dash, and then 4 numbers. What is... I don't think we're gonna be able to... It can't be this easy. I don't ever think he's gonna...
You've reached the Taylors. No one's home right now, but if you leave your details after the beep, I'll get back to you.
Hi, Mr. Taylor. This is Kathy Rain, private investigator. I was wondering if I could ask you some questions. You can reach me at 555-142-062. Thanks in advance. Bye.
I don't like the way you write numbers.
I think I followed up on what I can today for each of the different victims. Just one thing left to do. I noticed that the Gazette had the best coverage of the Soothsayer out of all the city papers. I think it's time to pay a dear old friend a visit.
Dear old friend, Gazette. I want to meet I want to meet your friend. Yeah. I wonder who it is.
All right, here we are. Let's see how E is doing. Hello, sunshine. How's my favorite Christian reporter?
Oh, what do you want, Kathy? I'm on a deadline here.
What?
No small talk, huh? Can't I check in on a friend?
I wish, but we both know you only show up when you need something.
Ouch. Well, I did have something I wanted to talk to you about.
Let's hear it then.
I need to turn off hints. Yeah, the relationship vibe, this is pretty much exactly what I expected would happen. Because Kathy is not the greatest at socializing properly with people. She's very rough around the edges. And, Eileen comes across to me as a really good person who was giving Kathy, like, way more benefit of the doubt. But that doesn't make up for the fact that, like, just because Kathy, like, deep within doesn't necessarily mean it, that doesn't mean that she's not acting inappropriately.
What do you know about the Soothsayer?
The serial killer? But... oh no, it's that stupid reward, isn't it?
You betcha. Money in the bank, baby.
Oh, brother. I'd say this is a terrible idea, Kathy, but it's not like you listen to me anyway.
Oh, come on, Eileen. Don't be like that.
No, don't even go there. Do you know how many times I had to go to HR to get people to stop quoting that stupid song?
Poor old Johnny Ray sounded sad upon the radio.
Art, make her stop.
Why? It's not a half-bad performance.
You guys are like peas in a pod.
Ugh, well, now I lost my groove. I hope you're happy.
Ecstatic. Are you done wasting my time now?
Oh, lighten up, E. Aren't you thrilled about another big case? Teaming up, just like old times?
You can't just pretend nothing happened, Kathy. You fired me, remember?
I'll unfire you?
Yeah, right. How do you even know you'll get that reward? This is Cassidy we're talking about.
I was thinking the same thing, but Lucas did his homework. He says this new mayor is the real deal.
That silly old man. He just wants one last case with his protege before retirement, even if it means you'll get yourselves serial killed.
And I'm all here for it.
Of course you are. It's not like self-preservation is anywhere on your hierarchy of needs.
Can't argue with that. So, speaking of my, needs, what do you know about Cassidy's most prolific murderer?
Not much. You should ask Art. He's much more up to date on that stuff, being our crime correspondent and all.
What do you know about Deborah Sinclair?
I like her books, but I don't care much for celebrity gossip. Awful thing that happened to her, though.
What do you know about the woman who was burned alive by the Soothsayer?
Oh, nothing. I hope that horrible demon is caught soon.
What do you know about Benedict Townsend, the murdered deacon?
I don't know anything about that poor man.
Hey, you're a Christian. What does a deacon actually do?
It depends on the denomination, but a deacon belongs to a church and can practically do the same work as a priest, with the exception of sermons and rites.
Interesting, thanks. Are you familiar with scrying mirrors?
I think so, yeah. You mean the black ones made out of obsidian, right?
Yep. What do you know about them?
Not a lot. I know they've been around since ancient times and that they're quite popular in New Age culture today. My friend Meadow is totally into that stuff. I bet she'd tuck your ear off about it.
Oh? Sounds great. Where can I find her?
Let me call her tonight and ask first, okay? She can be a bit peculiar about things.
Sure, not a problem. Are you familiar with the King of Kings Catholic Church?
I'm not. My family, we're Protestants.
Do you know anything about Eric Holloway, one of the Soothsayer victims?
Not really. I'm sure you know more about him than me.
What do you know about Rose Taylor, the first Soothsayer victim?
She worked as a nurse, I think. Other than that, I don't know much.
Have you heard of the Azure Sky Motel?
That's where one of those serial killings happened, right?
Yeah.
Thought it sounded familiar. I don't know anything else about it, though.
I don't want to ask her about that. I don't want to show that to her.
Okay.
I'll let you get back to your work.
All right, see you later.
Cute little frog. He has had that thing as long as I've known her. A few family photos. Eileen's got a big Christian family. Man, her brother is a hunk. Wouldn't mind getting some of that.
Now that's just mean.
Sorry, Summers, couldn't resist. Let me think. Disheartening, dismaying, dissatisfactory?
I think I'm looking for a stronger statement.
Then I'd go with depressing, distressing, or maybe demoralizing.
Demoralizing.
Pipes,
Yes,
the pipe screensaver.
Thanks,
right
Art.
there.
Anytime, kiddo.
I used to stare at that in school instead of doing my work. Just watching the teacher's screensaver and getting lost in the pipe.
Word space is acting up again. What was that stupid shortcut to reset the layouts?
Control-Shift-L, I think.
Oh, what the heck? Now it's freaking...
Try hitting escape.
Oh. Alright then. Whew.
A roll of tape. Nah, I'm not that. Looks like Eileen printed some business cards for herself. Oh, it says someone needs to rehome their cat. I'd be open to that, but Mildred would lose her shit. My fluffball needs her Lebensraum.
About that moldy cave for a decade, but it wasn't until you rookies piled on that he got his thumb out of his ass.
I don't blame him, Art. You complain a lot.
Oh, forgive me for having standards, Summers. You should be thanking me for saving you from lung cancer.
Art Hopkins, just the man I need to see.
That's so. This better be good.
What do you know about the Soothsayer?
What do I know? I made the Soothsayer. Before me, he was the Mirror Murderer, the Cassidy Ripper, or whatever derivative moniker those dullards at the Times or the Sun can muster up.
Oh, wow. So, what's your take on the guy?
I could see right through you, Rain. You're a bad apple, and it stinks all the way up here. Finally got a whiff of that reward, huh?
Can't blame a girl for trying. You've got your sights on that money too, huh?
Who doesn't? It's 200 fucking grand. I got a juicy new lead, too.
A new lead, huh? I doubt it's that impressive.
Nice try. I'm not gonna slip up. Word of advice, go back to your cheaters and insurance frauds and leave the Soothsayer to the big boys.
What do you know about Deborah Sinclair? The most
Dude is a
recent
bit of an
Soothsayer victim?
asshole.
Don't waste your breath
likable
about the
one, but
Soothsayer.
still.
I'm not gonna say squat.
What do you know about...
Certainly more than you.
Are you familiar...
Don't waste your breath.
What do you know about the Azure Sky Motel?
Stop.
I don't need... I don't want to... Alright.
Okay.
Vintage, huh? I can respect that. Cacti...
How's that little beeping pal of yours?
Oh, you mean Agatha, my virtual pet?
Yes, that silly electronic
Tamagotchi.
Japanese thing.
She kind of died. I forgot her at home when I went to church.
My deepest condolences. Will there be a ceremony?
Very funny. It was a research project. You know I have to stay up to date on pop culture.
Sure. Keep telling yourself that, Summers.
I remember that. Something about a corrupt church. When the story broke, the place was shut down and some of the higher-ups went to jail. Jeez, now that's a busy calendar. The Cassidy Gazette, a mid-sized paper and one of the oldest still active in the city. Some old sports trophy. Guess Art was into that in his oh-so-distant youth.
Is this having to do with like, does Kathy really not remember the mending? Seems like she doesn't remember.
The Cassidy Gazette, a mid-sized paper and one of the oldest still active in the city. Nice view of the city from up here.
Back to Cassidy it is. Bye, Eileen. Sorry I fired you. I don't think I was done.
My trusty makeup brush, an oh so important part of... I don't want to show... A roll of tape.
I didn't put it in my... Alright.
Of course he's a green tea guy. Drinking coffee like a normal person would be much too sane.
Hey, tea is great. Sometimes you like what you like.
Nice view of the city from up here. Hey, E, one more thing.
Yeah?
What do you know about this new lead that Art supposedly picked up on the Soothsayer?
Nothing. I don't work with him directly.
Maybe you could find out?
No, Kathy. I respect Art. I'm not gonna mess with his story. I see you're still comfortable with petty crime.
Only when justified, E. Only when justified. I don't want to show that to her.
I wish they'd give me a quality camera like that. All I get to play with are budget knockoffs.
Ouch. Hang in there. I'm sure you'll get access to some quality hardware when you're more established.
Yeah, I would hope so.
I'll let you get back to your work.
All right, see you later.
She respects Art too much to do a little digging, huh? That guy's a grade A asshole. It shouldn't take much to bring that out front and center. Can I pick your...
You're what?
I think my Vtuber is a newer model than yours, Art.
Newer doesn't equal better, numbnuts. Are you really that desperate to show off?
Says the guy with his high school sports trophy on full display.
Oh, shut up.
I don't want to show that to him. I don't want to show that to him. Oh, I'm sure he'd love that. An easy excuse for calling security on me. All right, that...
Okay.
So I think,
Cats
am I
I
supposed to... Am I supposed to, like, mess with him and get him to, like...
Vintage, huh? I don't want to I don't think that...
I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing now. Because it hasn't progressed the next day. So I'm thinking that I need to still do something at the Gazette.
Can I pick your brain?
Yeah.
I don't want to show... I don't want to... I don't want to show... I don't want... I don't want to...
New word.
Oh,
I don't want to show... I don't want to show...
I think I've done everything that I can here, so
All right.
I'm gonna keep moving.
Daily papers from the last couple weeks. They have, accidentally made their way here from the recycling bin outside.
Really? That is like a new low. I dare say.
The city we're... Various ref...
I'm just gonna double check that that I'm not missing anything, like some item.
Ugh, plenty of bad memories from this place. Being forced here for school was the worst. The old librarian lady was the meanest hag you could imagine, and she had it out for me from the start.
Oh, so this is where she grew up with her mom. This city. Kind of sad that it has like such bad memories. I love going to the library, always have. Alright, I got all I need. I got all I need here. Okay, I guess I'm looking it up. Although the question is there even a guide out yet? Because the game just... Okay. I guess there was like a mechanic that I was unaware of. I didn't read too far, but...
Hey, E.
Yeah?
I'll let you get...
All right, see you.
Oh, it says someone needs to I'd be open to... I remember that. Something about a corrupt church. When the story broke, the place was shut down and some of the higher-ups went to jail.
What the hell do you think you're doing?
Oh, nothing. I was just admiring your stuff.
Uh-huh. Why don't you do that from where I can see you?
Fine, yeesh. I shouldn't push my luck. I don't even know what I'm looking for.
Her face looks vaguely cross-eyed from this perspective.
I shouldn't push... Nice view of the... Hey, E.
Yeah?
What do you know about...
Nothing?
Maybe...
No.
I'll let you get back.
All right, see you later.
All right. Oh, okay.
Hey, E.
Yeah?
So, I heard about this expose Art did on a church here in town.
Well, yes. It's not like Christians are immune to bad behavior.
I don't want to ask her about that. I don't want to ask. What's your opinion on Art?
Oh, he's a great journalist. I have a lot to learn from him.
But...
No buts, Kathy. Stop trying to stir up trouble.
I don't want to ask her about... I don't want to ask... I don't want to ask. Still keeping that little bugger around, huh?
Oh, I wouldn't part with Ribbit for the world.
Ribbit.
Hey, your brother is pretty hot. Mind if I...
Not a chance, Kathy.
Hey, E, can I have one of your cards?
Sure, go ahead.
Want to have a water cooler moment together?
I have a lot of work to do, Kathy. Get to the point, please.
Geez, you're no fun. This is a nice place you've got here.
I guess. Beats the basement office we had before.
So the
I'll let you
problem
get
is
back to
All right, see you later.
I did not have a mechanic.
Can I pick your...
Yeah.
That's a Michiru Pro, right? Early edition?
Correct. You got an eye for quality.
Force of habit. A PI with blurry pictures wouldn't last very long. I see that somebody's desperate to milk their achievements on the high school sports team.
You were always picked last, weren't you, Rain?
Jeez. Do you get any work done in between those vacations, Art?
It's called foreign reporting. It must be an alien concept to a small-time PI like you.
Sure thing, buddy. Keep spinning that yarn. How do you like working here?
Why? You looking for a job?
God, no. I could never work at a place like this. I have authority problems.
Don't we all? These days, management doesn't dare try to bother me. They know I'm the only reason this place is still afloat, so they let me write whatever the hell I want.
I like your thorny little friends there on that windowsill.
The cactuses? Yeah, I can't seem to kill them off, no matter how hard I try.
That's cacti, Art. Are you sure you're a journalist?
Oh, fuck off.
So, you're one of those green tea guys, huh?
It's
Of course,
matcha.
I take my health very seriously.
Oh, I couldn't tell. You're about 48, right? I can see that receding hairline of yours.
Ha ha, you ain't exactly the poster child for health yourself, Rain. I could smell last night's booze all the way from here.
Psych, it's this morning's booze. You're not as good as a detective as you think you are.
How do you think Eileen is doing here?
I don't gossip about coworkers. Take that shit somewhere else.
Kudos for that, though.
I don't want to ask. I don't want to ask. This isn't a half bad office you've got here, Art.
Nobody asked for your opinion, Rain.
I don't want to ask. I don't want to ask. I don't want to ask. I don't want to ask.
He doesn't really have anything on his side to react to.
All right.
Okay, then.
Oh well. I have new thing unlocked that I know how to do. Oh man, that's a semi truck right there. That's not stressful at all. How does she do this? It's just like I would not be able to. The guide is telling me something completely different than what is available to me. We'll see if I can fix that. Maybe I'm just...
Can I pick?
Here.
That's quite the story you've got framed up there on that wall.
Oh, yes. One of my proudest accomplishments.
It must have taken ages to break that story, right?
Half a year undercover. Now that's a proper investigation.
That's dedication. Lots of sermons to listen to, I take it?
Ugh, too many. I could feel my gray matter shrinking with every psalm, hymn, and other delusion thrown my way.
What made you decide to investigate the church?
I had a family member in that parish. They told me some strange stories. It didn't take long for my reporter's instinct to kick in.
Oh. Must have been tough to ruin a loved one's place of worship.
They're better off, believe me. I'd prefer to keep them out of organized religion altogether, but at least now they're no longer associated with goddamn criminals.
Ahem.
What was the fallout? Some people were arrested, right?
If by some you mean a lot, yeah. 12 people charged, 9 convicted, and about 100 years of prison time sentenced in total.
Damn. The state shut the church down too, right?
Oh, sure did.
That's a shame. They didn't have to punish the whole congregation just because the leadership was corrupt.
You don't know what the hell you're talking about. That place was rotten to the core.
Huh.
It must have taken...
Half a year under...
That's dead.
No,
How do you think I...
I don't...
All right.
think...
Okay.
Oof. I don't think Art's Eileen's favorite person right now. Hey, E. One more thing.
Tell me
Yeah?
the secrets.
Man, I'm itching to know what Art's new lead on the Soothsayer is.
I bet, but I wouldn't know anything about that. Not that he's been my favorite person lately.
You could still find out, right? Don't you want to ruffle that arrogant prick's feathers a bit?
Oh, well,
Pretty please.
okay, fine. I'll try, but no promises.
You're the best.
Either that or I'm just a slow learner.
Alrighty, it's getting late. I'm gonna get out of your hair before Art rats me out and calls security.
Oh, he wouldn't do that. He's not as bad as you think, Kathy. You guys are actually quite alike.
Oh God, you better take that back before you make me take up smoking again.
Huh. I have no doubt you'll be able to resist the temptation.
She quit
Bye, Kathy.
smoking! Yay!
Bye.
Oh, that's the way the light casts on the cat. That's good. May... So
Rain Investigations.
Kathy, it's me, Eileen.
Hey, E. What's up?
Oh, you know, just burning the midnight oil. So, I wanted to let you know that I found Art's new lead on the Soothsayer.
Amazing. Do tell.
Well, you know those people who were killed? Apparently,
The
they
scythe.
were all under the influence of some
It's the red
sort of
scythe.
illegal drug.
Interesting. What type of drug?
I'm not sure. but this toxicology report here says that the street name is Pyre.
Never heard of that one. I better go ask Lionel.
Lionel? Who is that?
My a friend of mine, that's all.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I'd say you should take better care of yourself, Kathy, but you've heard it all before.
Pretty much, but seriously, thanks, E. I owe you one.
Kathy!
Don't worry about it. Oh,
Did
and
you-
by the way, you know Meadow, that friend I was telling you about?
Did she graduate
Yeah,
from
what about
cigarettes
her?
to drugs?
She said you can come see her tomorrow. She's got an RV over on the west side, Sycamore Lane 21.
Perfect. I'll go talk to her in the morning.
Okie dokie. I gotta get back to work now, but I guess I'll see you around.
You bet. Catch you later, E.
Bye, Kathy.
Pyre, huh?
I think
better
it has
call the
some.
cop
It's
shop
gotta
and ask
be
Josh
like
about
the
that.
the red scythe.
You've reached Detective Everett, Narcotics. I'm not available right now. Please leave a message after the beep.
Hey, Josh, this is Kathy Rain. Been a while, huh? Let's meet and catch up. I have something I want to run by you. Hit me up at my work number, will ya? Okay, bye. All right, I guess that's that. Let's see if Lionel is at his usual spot.
Quite a busy day tomorrow. Ooh, going downtown. Oh, hey, Mr. Pimp Cash Money. You don't look like an undercover cop.
Hey, what's up, Lionel?
Hey, girlfriend. You here for the white stuff?
Not this time, buddy.
Oh, you broke?
Well, I am, but that's not...
You just broke. Well, I ain't giving you a tab. I'd never see my money back. No offense.
I don't want a fucking Coke tab, Lionel. I just had some questions.
Oh, what's with the hostility, girl? There's no reason to be unsavory among friends.
Sorry, rough day. Can I run something by you?
Go on then. I suppose I got some time to spare.
Do you know Pyre?
Oh yeah. Strong trip, they say. I'd love to get my hands on some of that.
Hard to come by, I take it?
No doubt. I never got so much as a whiff of the stuff.
Oh, really? Who's slinging?
No one I know. Sketchy motherfuckers, though, whoever they are.
How so?
Well, for one, you won't find them on the corner like us, regular hard-working candy men.
Yeah. You're all
This
salt
dude
of
looks
the
like
earth.
a caricature.
How do they conduct business then?
Well, they pretty much don't.
I'm not following.
Well, join the club, 'cause it's some real candid camera shit. Every now and then, one of them dope fiends starts yapping on about some creepy fucker giving them Pyre, and it's always on the house. Trying to run an honest pusher out of business.
Some kind of obtuse marketing tactic?
If it is, those people sure as hell ain't capitalizing on it.
Some half-assed DEA honeypot operation then?
No way. The feds don't give a fuck about Cassidy, trust me.
Who are these fiends then? Got any names?
Nah, I don't ask for names. And the junkie clientele all look the same to me, no offense.
Ha. So you don't know anyone who could get Pyre? Some drug dealer you are.
Now, I didn't say that. There is this one person who just might be able to pull it off.
Yeah?
A friend of the boss. Ultra wealthy connoisseur. Tries everything once, apparently. Rich. I mean old money rich. Deeply connected.
Quite the sales pitch. Are you gonna give me a name or just leave a girl hanging in suspense?
Now, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Surely a gumshoe such as yourself is well aware that information is a commodity.
I told you I'm fucking broke, Lionel.
And I ain't deaf. We're talking a simple exchange. If you find out who's slinging pyre, you send the love lion a word.
Deal. Loaded guy's name, please.
It ain't a guy, strictly speaking. It's one of those, transsexual types. Prefers to go by the name Hannah Verdue.
Verdue? That rings a bell. Some French family, right? Mine owners?
You tell me. Sounds about right.
So, what do you know about Hannah Verdue?
Not much, but I know she owns and runs a place on the south side. The Club of Hearts.
Catchy name.
The
Casino?
pyre has to be related to the
Poetry club, if you can believe that.
I can. Sure sounds like an appropriate waste of money for a Verdue.
Yeah, I suppose those motherfuckers ran out of rooms to put golden bathtubs in.
Either that or mammoth wool rug suddenly went out of style. So that poetry club, do you know where it is?
South side, that's all I know. Never patronized myself.
What's your take on the Soothsayer?
That creepy motherfucker got the whole town on edge, don't he? Funny how City Hall didn't give a damn until one of those celebrity types got killed. Embarrassing look for the city, huh? I suppose it was just a matter of time until Cassidy got our own Ted Bundy. Place like this, with no hope, breeding ground for psychos.
What do you know about Deborah Sinclair, the latest Soothsayer victim?
Look, I don't know nothing about those murders, victims, whatever. Don't bring that shit up with me.
What do you know about scrying mirrors?
Nothing. What is that? Some new age shit?
Oh, never mind. Are you familiar with the King of Kings Catholic Church?
You ain't serious, right? Do you remember who you talking to?
Oh, forget it then. Are you familiar with the Azure Sky Motel?
Nah, haven't heard of the
Really?
place.
Figure like
I don't need to. That's it. Later, Lionel.
Until next time, hot stuff.
It's closed. Not that I have much left to pawn. I better hope I don't get desperate enough for one of these predatory loans. Rockports and other cheap brands. I'm certainly not going to waste my precious relapse on shitty smokes like that. Fast cash, huh? Guess I could use some of that.
just clicking that for just emphasis, for pizzazz, a little lore realism. Let's
All right, found an address. They're not open until Friday night, though. Guess I'll have to wait a couple of days. Ugh, I'm beat. You want to hit the sack, girl? Come on, then.
Meow, 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 meow.
So, there's something I need to tell you.
Yeah, I know, kid. Time to move on, huh?
Yeah. Is it that obvious?
I wouldn't be much of a PI if I couldn't see the writing on the wall for this one. It was nice having you around, though, kid. You spruced up the place, I gotta say.
Well, don't get lazy without me. I'm sure you still have a couple of years of detective work left in you.
Oh, that's all I need. Just a couple of more cases. Then I'm riding off into the sunset.
What's going on, Lucas?
What do you mean? Something wrong with my vacation outfit? I've always been a sun-kissed kind of guy.
Uh-oh. May 21st, 1998. Day 2.
Okay, Kathy. Enough loitering. Time to get back out there. You've got places to be. Nah, I'll let her sleep.
Oh, look at your pet kitty cat.
Maybe later. The red one goes better with this set. I shouldn't need to bring that. There's storage on the bike if I need it. Nah, I'll...
All right. So, I think this is actually an excellent... This is an excellent spot to end the stream for today. So let us raid someone. And yeah. I will go send it over to the other person who's playing this right now. Oh, yeah. Have a good day, everyone. Bye.